Welcome everybody to an all-new Bullet Point Nation. It's a show so great, Meet the Press wants to meet with us. My name's Michael Loftus, and you are?
Judd Dunning.
We've got a great show for you tonight. Now, we're always bringing you the finest, the best, the most insights. We're doing Bullet Points one-on-one, where we're interviewing great guests. We're doing the Bullet Point single shot. But, Judd, I think we're going to do a traditional Bullet Point Nation show. We're going to have a timer. We got to keep it under. We're moving fast. I'm overwhelmed. What's bullet point number one?
All right, bullet point number one, out of sight, but not out of mind. Trump states he's got a lot of enemies, but why now? And who are they? Here's why Trump takes on the Dems with 4 big executive orders.
Wow, you've already eaten up a lot of your time just with the title. What's bullet point number 2?
Biden, big surprise. I think we all know what that is. That's next.
Wow, and I'm hoping there's going to be a wild card.
There is.
Now, in addition to the wild card, is there a really cool graphics package with music we could dance to?
There always is. Forever young, baby. Run it.
Ah! I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say best show ever. Just right out of the gate. Best show ever.
It.
Now, I'd be remiss, Mr. Dunning, the honorable and righteous Mr. Dunning, if I didn't bring up the biggest piece of news on this show. I'm going to bring it up every week. Your book is about to come out.
That's right, baby. When we get to announce this for 10 more weeks, you have 10 weeks, and you can buy your pre-orders on Amazon now. 13.5 Reasons Why Not to Be a Liberal and How to Enlighten Others by Judd Dunning and the amazing Eric Golub as our contributing writer. We're looking forward to getting it out there. Newsmax has 10 million people on their book list. We've got 33 million on their website. We're going to go out through Ingram. So I'm just so excited to get the message of some rational discussions out before the election. So thanks, Mike.
So you're telling me right now I could go on my phone, this phone right here, and I could go to Amazon and pre-order?
Yeah, you do that, buddy. That's $3. And Judd Dunning's, I don't even know what authors pay.
That's exciting. That's almost exciting as bullet point number 1. Let's hit that crazy long title again.
Boom. All right. Bullet point number 1 is Trump's 4 executive orders last week. And I think we saw a standoff. I think we saw a showdown. So the claim from the left is a bunch of constitutional violations by the way he did it, whether or not they'll be able to go down the line. But actually, the executive orders on at least 3 of these are going to be really effective. Trump came out, as we know, and he said, for the first 5 to 10 minutes, he was so grounded, he was so relaxed. He said, hey, they're trying to steal the election. Mail-in ballots are a dangerous issue. They wanted to, in the bill, they want to include that they would take away voter ID from Indiana and several of the states that actually have it. And then they also did a standoff on doing universal mail-in ballots. And Trump said no, and then he solved America's problems.
This was fantastic. You always heard that thing like Trump's playing 3D chess and everybody's playing checkers. But this was really, it's hard to believe he's never been a politician before. This executive order was just masterful. It was just, now I'm going to go on the record. I don't like executive orders. I don't like them at all. That's a sign that Congress isn't working. They're not doing their job. People are digging in. There's no back and forth. There's no middle ground. That's bad. But here's the great thing. So Trump does these EOs, executive orders. That's what EO stands for, ladies and gentlemen.
Word.
Thank you. I like to keep it slangy for the kids on their
You are a CD, and I mean cool dude.
So he does the executive order. Now, if Nancy Pelosi and the gang, if they bring a lawsuit, what? Why would you try to stop me from helping the American people? And here's the cherry on the top, and then I'll stop talking. But recently, remember when Obama was like, hey, I'm going to do DACA by executive order. I'm going to do DACA. And everybody's like, oh, that's practically a law now. And Trump tried to undo it. And the Supreme Court was like, ooh, not so fast. You did that wrong. I guess it stands. So this is a test historically. So Trump's like, oh, so that's how executive orders work. And if you try to undo them, you got to do, okay, I got an executive order. Now what you gonna do? It's great. How you like me now? Cash me outside. My name is Donald Trump.
Best show ever. Boom. That's funny, man. Yeah, I mean, it was great, wasn't it? Because when he stood up and he said, I mean, he was like an old paternal grandfather. He's like, hey, they're trying to steal the election. God dang it. Just walking back and forth. He really opened with this sincere, you could see like disappointment and regret. And then he said, and since they're not going to solve the problem, I'm going to solve it. Look, if Dems can shut down the country, and you look at how the shutdowns are, and it's in Democratic blue states over red states, aggressively repressing our economic activity. The least they can do is release the money. I mean, that's the deplore. Say, hey, by the way, we're going to repress you. You're going to be so unhappy. We're going to destroy the biggest economic run that any president's had in 4 terms. And then they're going to turn around. They're not going to release the money, and they're going to do it for political reasons. Kayleigh came out and said this. I thought it was great. She said Democrats have been blocking the implementation of the 4th coronavirus stimulus package in recent weeks, demanding more and more unreasonable things from Republicans. Senator Schumer called these proposals simply political stunts, ensuring payments would not get to the Americans that needed it. Then, as she said, this should tell you exactly where Democrats stand against hardworking Americans who lost their job through no fault of their own. And that's COVID. Come on, man.
Yeah. And Schumer was digging in on voter ID. He's like, we got to get rid of voter ID. We're like, whoa, that has nothing to do with what's going on with now. And that's what people are frustrated with, and that's why people like Donald Trump. Now, was this the speech where Trump was going, I'm going to be going away for a while?
Yeah, well, this happened in the interim, but right after the 4 executive announcements, Trump tweeted this. So now Schumer and Pelosi want to meet and make a deal. Amazing how it all works, isn't it? Where have they been for the last 4 weeks when they were hardliners and only wanted bailout money for Democrats-run state cities that are failing badly? They know my phone number. But it's true. They came back and they tried to start cutting a deal because it's obvious the political damage when you take an American's money away. I mean, people were relying on this money. People are relying on this $400 to $600. They're relying on this $1,200.
Which is another great stroke. So it's a win-win-win for Trump. If they go to try to stop the EO, they look horrible. If they try to sue, they look horrible. And now they've got to come back and learn how to function. And it's not. You would think that politics wouldn't come into this. You think that this would be. It's a difficult thought. I want to make sure I say it right. The fact that Democrats have consistently played politics with these relief packages. The fact this is the 3rd time they've done it. They keep doing this. Remember the money that Nancy gave to what was the New York Met or whatever? Weird. If they feel this easy about playing politics, then how bad is the virus? How bad is the virus?
Yeah.
If it was really killing, if it was really doing all this damage, you'd be like, holy crap, forget politics. We got to save lives. So now, methinks they're playing too many games. We got to move on.
Yeah, well, no, I was just, our producers actually had to step out this evening. So I was using the sound effects. We have a little bit more time. I just think the most important thing is what are the 4 things that he did? The student loan payments were canceled in 2021, taking care of our students. Payroll tax holiday, which may become permanent cuts and a reduction in his greater plan. He overrode the other stimulus package and said $400 a week, which is less, $300 from the federal government, $100 from the state, which is still money moving, although he was a little more conservative. And that alone hurt people. And the eviction moratorium, I think the eviction moratorium is a big deal. You start destabilizing people with a homeless crisis already out there right now. I'm in real estate. The repressed, damage that we're doing to the real estate market. So, he thought globally and he thought clearly, and he implemented a great plan. So, once again, Trump comes through in this situation. May we get to November 5th as quickly as possible. Worst case scenario, Biden wins, but watch, coronavirus ends.
I don't know. I could see it going either way. The upside to the coronavirus is Big Brother keeps getting more and more power. Oh, we're going to have to do contact tracing. Oh, we're going to have to know where you are. Oh, we might
Oh
have
my
to use
God, it's
social
gonna be
media
so
to
pretty
see who
bad.
you've been hanging out with. Oh, the government will tell you how much money you get. The government will tell your landlords whether you can stay or you can go. Listen, I don't this whole thing it just reeks to high heaven of a power grab, and the sooner we're on the other side of it, the better. Okay, let's
Amen.
go.
Amen. Once again, bullet points. What are they not talking about? They're not talking about what's going on underneath these actions and how much risk this guy's taking. So moving on to bullet point number 2, Michael Loftus. Thank you very much. All
Woo! What do we
right.
got? What do we got?
Biden's big surprise. I think we gotta. It just dropped hours ago. I have to tell you, I thought he was going to go with Rice. I thought maybe he was going to go with the Atlanta mayor. I thought that the wild card of Michelle Obama could come in. I thought they were going to be more desperate, but they played it right down the center of what they were thinking about. And here she is. There you go, America. There's your next lapping VP, Michael Loftus.
I was shocked that they went with Kamala Harris. Here's you can't really go with Lance Bottoms, although I love her name, Lance Keisha Lance Bottoms. It's just kind of sexy.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
works.
like she's not. I guess she's not VP material. I'm surprised they went after Kamala Harris. It seemed like Susan Rice would be an easy pick. She'd be an easy pick. But then that would take her out of the Durham investigation, and that would protect a lot of people. So I'm glad they didn't go with Susan Rice.
Yeah.
Here's a weird thing with Kamala Harris. Do you remember the knockout blow that Tulsi Gabbard delivered to her in that debate?
Yeah.
Tulsi, you just watched Kamala Harris's hopes and dreams crumble. It was like that Simpsons when she broke Ralphie's heart and they had it in slow motion. You just saw Kamala Harris like, I'm not going to be president. It just happened. So you already have the tact to go after her. Like she was bragging about getting high, but she was throwing people in jail for marijuana possession. She's got a really horrible record as a DA in San Fran. Oh my God! Look at that picture of Gretchen Whitmer. When
Yeah.
did? Whoa, that's terrifying.
Well, you have to think about, look at the analysis. I mean, Elizabeth Warren was complicated, older. She's the female Bernie, right?
Yeah,
Whitmer was the Gestapo shutdown of Michigan. I mean, she was hated. The blowback if they'd gone with Whitmer. I mean, she really lost Michigan. I think as far as Yates, they even thought about at one point. Yates would have probably led back to the Logan Act, and maybe it's going to go back into the Durham investigation. And then Kamala was. Let's talk about racism for a second. They're like, whoever I'm going to elect, it's going to be a woman. And then BLM and Antifa in the last 2 days, there's going to be a lashback if it's not a black female. Did
yeah,
you see that? I mean, they were
yeah.
threatening, and this was the logical move in the playbook from the very beginning. But she got destroyed in the debates. So
Yeah.
I really don't know what they were thinking. I think Elizabeth Warren might have been like a more dangerous opponent than Kamala.
This is the problem when you start playing around with identity politics. You're already on target. You can't look at, and this to me is the number one reason to not, well, not the number one, it's in the top five reasons to not vote for Joe Biden. Look at his decision making process. You're the leader of the free world, and you're like, you know what? I don't want the best vice president. I don't want like if something happens to Joe Biden, and listen, that guy, he's not hanging in there well mentally. So if something were to happen to Joe Biden, it's going to be his vice president. So this is the time where like I don't want you to say it has to be a black person, it has to be a woman, it has to be a one-eyed Asian, it has to be an American Indian with diabetes. No, here's what I want. I want the best person. If something happens to the president, I want the best American to be in that office. I don't because like other countries aren't going to care. You think China? You can go, hey, time out, China. We're not ready. We don't have the best person in here. We thought we'd go with a black woman, so we're not really ready. No, this is for keeps, man. Other countries aren't going to hold back. It's a terrifying notion. It shows horrible decision making by Biden.
Yeah, I mean, there's still two routes of the unknown, right? They're using, if they're using Kamala, which is a little bit of a vanilla, I don't know if it's the right word, but it's such a sensitive, did I just cross a race barrier by vanilla calling a black, white woman, whatever she is? Once again, I just got an argument with Rob Nelson live about being a colorblind conservative, but there's this point I just acknowledged. But you know, they're choosing her. But if that's the midline, are they going to ramp up the BLM Antifa disunity campaign? What are they going to do if the Durham investigation comes out? What if Trump starts dropping bombs on the Maxwell Epstein case? I mean, if we start to hold people accountable, how will this duo do? He'll probably do pretty well because he picked the ultimate defense, which is there are women and people of color that might just vote regardless of what hits the news.
Well, here's the good news. Trump's approval rating among black voters is just under 40%.
Yeah.
He's hanging at 36, which many years ago, he's like, Democrats have been promising all this stuff for years and years and years, but still the inner cities are horrible. Vote for me. What do you have to lose? And I tell you what, with the opportunity zones going in and the small business loans and the prison release, the prison reform bills and the black college support bills that he has done, it's no lie. He's done more for the black community in 4 years than Biden's done in 47.
Yeah.
They're all talk. Listen, I think we're in a glorious new age of politics where, listen, and Biden loves to do this. If you can't decide if you want to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. He consistently comes back to this, like, black people are all alike. Black people do the same thing. And I think it's gonna bite him in the bahunkus, because that's America. We're a melting pot of individuals. And if you're a small business owner, I don't think you're going to line up to vote for Biden. I don't care if he's got Kamala Harris out there dressed like Princess Leia aboard Jabba the Hutt's desert yacht.
Well, she's got nothing on Sarah Palin. I mean, she's pretty. She's so inappropriate. So listen, man. I think that at the end of the day, I'm going to make my call on the show tonight. So when Trump was going to, nobody thought Trump was going to win. The Facebook followings of the rallies was amazing. There was a social media undercurrent. Well, here's my undercurrent. So many people that aren't talking on Facebook about supporting Trump are IMing me behind the scenes and texting me all of these memes and all of these videos. I mean, I've never got so many memes and videos, but these are people who are not outwardly saying they support the Trump presidency. That's the groundswell. That's the silent majority. So the question is how big is that getting? I'm with you. I think even the black community, it's definitely increasing. And I'm going to predict a Trump win.
Yeah, I love it. I hope. From your lips to God's ears.
Amen.
What's up next, Judd? As this thunderball rolls along.
As this thunderball rolls along, we're going to keep going through Kamala and Joe. I got a little slide lackey there. I need Michael Loftus, and we're going to go. Our wild card tonight, our wild card, Bullet Point Nation, is Biden gaffes, which are in cognitive decline, which is not as funny as gaffes, but now they're interwoven. So look, man, I have to say, in all of this that's going on, to pivot on our last point, it is comedy gold, man. I mean, I hate to make fun of somebody's grandpa, but comedy has no victims. I mean, he said on the air the other day that he said, oh yeah, I'm getting tested all the time. Well, I think he was getting tested for COVID rather than cognitive decline, because it is bad. And I'm not going to go, it's beyond sad. I care more about America than hurting some old guy's feelings. Man, if your golf club is broken and it's losing the tape and you can't swing it, it's time to get off the course.
Yeah, it's and to watch all these people, like, I really don't think I just watched Jill Biden in an interview. It's weird how Jill Biden can do a face-to-face interview, but Joe can't. That's too much. There's no one in this country. There's no one in this country who's thinking, I wonder who'd be a good leader of America. Joe Biden. Like no one is excited about that guy. It's sad. He it's sad. And his whole, come on, man. Like he goes to that well come on, man. Of course I get tested. Did you get tested? Are you a junkie? Like,
yeah. What was that? You know what that was? He was talking to his son. I mean, right? I was thinking about that. I was like, why would he accuse him of doing crack? He must have thought he was at the family table with Hunter Biden, right? And come on, boy, don't do that crack. You're gonna mess up my life. I mean, seriously, what a weird place to go to accuse the reporter of using crack cocaine because you challenged his mental health.
I watched a side-by-side comparison of Joe Biden in 2008 compared to now, and that's when it's really obvious. That's when it's listen. If you're a liberal and you're still here, you're still watching this. Maybe you're like, are these guys for real? Yeah, we are. You can't be excited about Joe Biden. He's not up to the task. Listen, I hated this when they did it with Trump, and they're like, "Oh, he's insane." Remember when in 2016, "Oh, Trump, he's insane, he's crazy," and you're like,
25th
okay,
Amendment.
Good, but man, when you're watching Biden, you're like, 20. There's no way. There's no way. The dude himself said he wouldn't run for a second term. He doesn't know. He's like, it's good to be in Vermont. Like, dude, you're in New Hampshire, and it's not like he's been on tour. Normally, when they do the I'm in the wrong state thing, it's because they've been on a bus tour and they've been hustling all around. That was like the only place Biden had gone.
Yeah. You lying dog-faced pony soldier. I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I mean, those are actual quotes. I'm going to kick the shit out of you. That's what he said, right? And then he was at like the Kenswood Center, and he said it was a different center. And Houston, Julio Castro said, "Are you forgetting what you just said 2 minutes ago?" I mean, it's not just these weird, befuddled gaffes. I mean, he is really, I mean, his level of confusion. I'll tell you something personally on the story on this show. So like 4.5 years ago, I was at the top of my game in the corporate world, and it was just, we were just massive company going public, and everybody's jumping ship. And I was like, PTSDs for, Vietnam vets. I mean, I got in the middle of such corporate chaos, and I couldn't remember things for about 6 months. I took some meds, et cetera. I went and did some cognitive thing, and I had my first stress level forgetting. And it is scary to forget what you're going to say and what you're going to do next. Yeah. And you can see the genuine terror. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Oh, there I go again. I mean, dude, there's two people having a conversation with themselves, and one of them has already retired. Yeah. I feel sad for the guy, but I don't. This is the presidency. Someone's got to be sharp as attack and aggressive, and he's got to be playing, as we said, the 3D chess set.
Yeah, even back in 2016. When I thought Biden might run, and Hillary got it, but I was like, wow, I'm glad Biden didn't, because Biden could have gone toe to toe with Trump back then. But man, this thing has come on. He's slow. He can't find like things that used to be on the tip of his tongue. He just can't find them. Remember when he tapped out in the debate? Like Kamala Harris practically called him a racist, and he's like, oh, I didn't do that. I just I see I'm going to respect the timer. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to defend himself.
Oh, we should use that in the show when I lose a point. I love that idea. That's fantastic. And then remember what he said? He's forgot Obama's name. He's like, oh, my boss. Like, wait a minute, dude. You were together every day for 8 years. I mean, the guys, even I'm not a fan. I know Obama's burned into my memory. I mean, it's just crazy. He's really starting to decline. And why can't we have an honest conversation? Is it because we're too far in the election cycle? I think that's simply it. I mean, they'd know if they brought somebody else in. I think they would have had a broker. I'm surprised. I thought we were going to have a brokered convention.
You never know. Come on, man. Anything can happen. Judd, I think this was a fantastic episode.
I love it. Best episode ever, except that was the last episode.
Well, we had a great one. Dude, I'm so excited about the book. The title of that again? I can't seem to recall.
Well, thank you. Let me refresh your memory, Mr. Biden.
Come
13
on,
and a
man.
half 13 and a half reasons why not to be a liberal and how to enlighten others with Judd Dunning and Eric Gobb, at a fantastic contributing writer.
You know what? I might have to put an Amazon link to that book at theloftusparty.com.
Oh, yeah,
Holy
big
crap.
time.
You guys, thanks for watching the show. Thanks for sharing the videos. Leave a comment, drop a like. We are all about building a community for Bullet Point Nation. Come back. We're dropping new videos left and right.
Boom.